sometimes I think people are afraid of change because they think it's going to blow up their world, that it has to change everything. And to your point, it's sometimes just a simple, and I don't want to call it simple, but it is an internal shift. Nobody really notices, other than all of a sudden you're maybe calmer, less stressed, you're less activated, you're less frustrated because you've had that internal shift of how you view the world. And, when we talk about the shift program as an example, or coaching, let's just call it coaching, is that, one of the things that we've learned very, very early on was that we have to enter the conversation where people are, not where we are, and not in our thought process. And, understanding that change can be intimidating. It can be a little bit frightening. Like, why do I need to change? Well, consider, how do you feel? Are you feeling frustrated? Are you always feeling like you have to blame something? Are you feeling like the world is happening to you instead of for you? Where is your sense of happiness, your joy, your self-satisfaction? What is the, conversations you're having with yourself? Are you being self-deprecating, if that's the right word? Are you being critical? So when we really consider all of these things that are happening, they're very internal. So what if you're able to actually shift the way you view the world? What if you're actually able to step back and consider how you view the world? Because then you start to change. Keep in mind is that what drives us is our values. What drives us is how we see the world. Are we a victim to the world? Are we blaming? Are we complaining? We talk about that often. One of the most powerful books I think anybody could read is with Jocko Willink, is called Extreme Ownership. And I would encourage everybody to read that book. I think it's one of those things that one of those books that really is impactful and powerful in terms of taking responsibility for your life. You and I say this often, is that our life is a reflection of who we're being. It's really that straightforward, how we see the world. So if we want to actually see change in our world, it's not about the world changing. It's not even about your friends or family changing. Although sometimes we go, I wish they'd change. At the end of the day, all we can do is change our view of the world. And that's where the work really starts.
I'm going to just expand on that a little bit around the inner work. Is that what it did for me is it led me back all the way around to just a deeper level of self-reflection and self-acceptance. So even though it was a change, I was driven to change, or I wanted to grow, and I knew there was more out there and knew there was more in there, and I wanted to have deeper conversations with people, what it brought me to was a layer of self-acceptance that I'd never had before. Because I think when I'm working with people and they're trying to change, it's like they're in some ways maybe potentially running away from something, or running away from a truth that's true for them that they maybe don't want to admit. And so they want someone to tell them how to feel better about that. So the first thing is around self-reflection and self-acceptance is getting to that shift of being able to tell yourself the truth. Look at the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror, and tell that person the truth about what's going on. Do you really need to change, or do you need to find a way, a journey into a layer of self-acceptance?